So for a few years there, back when the Warriors were revolutionizing the NBA by throwing up three-pointers like they were pieces of confetti, we talked about the math problem, right? 3 is more than 2, we all said. Can't beat a team that lives beyond the arc if you don't too. And that was true. But in the end, it hasn't been that difficult an equation to solve. Instead, the real math problem is this. 2 MVPs beats 1 MVP. LeBron James ran smack into this reality last night, and it seemed at the time that it was both inevitable and a little disappointing to anyone who wanted this to turn into a shred of a series. Just 1 game after Steph Curry rained down a record 9 three-pointers, here comes Kevin Durant dropping a monster 43 points, plus 13 rebounds, plus 7 assists. I mean, even if a team can contain one of these guys, the other one comes roaring at you, backed up by a bevy of additional all-stars, no less. And again, we knew all of this. We knew all of it last June when Golden State thumped a Cavs team that had both LeBron and Kyrie. We knew it, frankly, the minute KD signed with the Warriors 2 summers ago, which is the real reason Durant faced so much backlash at the time. I mean, trust me, I remember all the yelling and screaming theater about KD's lack of, quote, loyalty. But come on, that wasn't actually what upset most fans outside of Oklahoma City. It wasn't because they had some grave personal concerns about the character of a man they'd never met, or even because they like cupcakes. It's because we all like competitive basketball. We know the movie hero is going to win the big budget blockbuster. We spend hours speculating spoilers about TV shows. But sports is still about the thrill of not knowing what is going to happen. It's why even other players who support KD's right to free agency, have come out and said versions of what Portland's CJ McCollum did last night. First, he tweeted that KD, quote, shouldn't have gone there. Then he tweeted, KD a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest ever, whether he would have gone to Golden State or not. I would just rather see him on another team. And that's an interesting second layer that CJ brings up, one that we probably don't talk about enough, because yes, KD would likely be a Hall of Famer no matter what. And yes, KD made the Warriors ridiculously better by joining up 2 summers ago. But playing with the Warriors has made KD ridiculously better too. The degree of difficulty of that performance last night was insane. 12 of his 15 makes were contested. 4 of them were from beyond 30 feet. KD had never even had one game before where he had hit more than one 30-footer. In fact, in the history of the NBA, there has never been an entire team that has hit 4 30-foot-plus shots in a playoff game. He did it by himself. It was a tremendous performance to watch, and in place of true competition, the beauty of that dominance is what we're going to keep watching until someone solves the new math. Maybe it's Houston that finally does it. Maybe LeBron does it by joining a new team. Every problem does have a solution, but what last night made clear is it's not coming this year. And guys, it's interesting when you look at this and just the domination of the Warriors. Does it bother you how good the Warriors are now? Are you like C.J. McCollum watching that game?
I understand what he's saying. We come from the era of, I want to beat the best and all of that. I understand what LeBron wanted to win a championship. So he did what he had to do to make it happen. KD wanted to win a championship. He did what he had to do to make it happen. It's just different time.
Right.
And with this team,
but does it bother you that they teamed up, or it just bothers you that it's not competitive? Because those are 2 different things.
It bothers me that it's not competitive.
I agree with that.
That's what I think the heart of it is. That's where I think some of it gets misguided, right?
Right, because it's so lopsided when you watch this series. I mean, before it even started, we all knew.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
Bron and the Cavs had to be so perfect to even be competitive against this group.
Agreed.
And we see it. 2 of their best stars last night, 2 of their best stars don't have the best game. But you have another guy in KD that could put up 40 points to overcome what these guys were lacking in this series. And it's not fun to watch. That's why I stayed home last night, Rachel, in my bed in the hotel and watched this.
Check Tracy's IG story because he's tweeting from the hotel room during the game.
I want to say this.
Luxury.
KD said maybe last week, a few weeks ago, that he needed to be validated. Mm-hmm. Brother, you are validated in this league. You're possibly about to have your 2nd championship, possibly your 2nd finals MVP. Mm-hmm. Please leave.
Well, I have bad news for you. I just sat down with him about a half hour ago, and he says he's re-signing with Golden State this summer, which is not unexpected, by the way.
Playing. I tell you, I agree. And for him, like we can say what we want. Mm-hmm. he wants what he wants.
Right.
And right now he's happy with and they've made it work.
Right.
Because there's
Which is not
teams,
easy,
the
by
super
the way.
teams have come together and has not worked. It's worked. They're willing passers. They're willing to play through KD or the hot player at that moment, and it's working. So
what I will say to these teams out there, because we're not talking about a team that went out and really formed, got some free agents and put them together. They actually drafted most of these guys.
Right.
I mean, so
yeah.
To Golden State for drafting these guys and KD wanted to go there and win a championship with this group.
They had the money. It's not. I mean, they did it the right way, and it's just. I think that's what it is. Is it's like they've made it. They figured it out and they made it work, and other teams can't do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's really
or trying to. And they're getting what we consider
closer,
but not close enough.
Well, that's what's so interesting. That's what I was talking about. The math problem is that, like, in the end, you have 2 MVPs on that team.
Yes.
Like, unless you can match that on the other side of the equation, and I know Houston's trying to do it, and I know LeBron might be trying to do it with whatever team he matches up with. This seems like at least some version of where we're going to be for a while, and I think that's where the misguided frustration is. I don't think people are really that angry at Kevin.
No.
I don't think it's like, oh, you weren't tough enough. You didn't want to
It's
win in
just
the right
the
way.
It's just what we see.
Whatever.
Yes, exactly.
It's just the right.
It's
And he had to
that
kind of bear the brunt of that. But what it really is, it's just frustration of wanting to
2
see a
years
good
ago,
game.
Cleveland is probably up 2-1.
I'll tell you this: if KD wasn't on this
That's
team,
what I'm saying.
Well, that's what,
yeah. 2-1. Cleveland.
I'm saying this year. If KD wasn't on this team this year.
Oh, you mean against
Yeah,
the
I
team
mean,
without
this
Kyrie?
situation,
Yeah.
agreed.
Yes.
Yeah, so if it was a LeBron team without Kyrie, and
Very
if it was
competitive
the Warriors
series.
team without KD.
They win that game last night.
Yeah.
Without KD.
Yeah.
But that man,
He
That's
is
why
the
they signed him.
that man, he is that man right now.
There he is.